back with Ambassador Khovaev, and the last question we asked was, who stands to benefit from all this? Obviously not Russia. And the answer given by Ambassador is, who wants to inflict injury upon Russia? If we are able to answer that, perhaps we'll get to know the actors behind the scene. Ambassador?
So, but please, I would like to add that I prefer to refrain from any conclusions in this respect. So we see.
It's obvious.
No names.
No names. We will not supply the blanks.
And I think there are only two options for responsible behavior. The first one, produce evidences, relevant evidences, proofs, or, I'm sorry for my undiplomatic language, I'm sorry, or the second option is shut up.
Put up or
I'm sorry once again. Yeah. Please forgive me for my undiplomatic language. But to be frank, we are fed up with the irresponsible policy pursued by the British government.
So, in the word of undiplomatic language, first option is put up, second option is shut up.
Okay.
And the reason is you're fed up.
Because all of us should be responsible for what we say and we do. And it's especially relevant to the permanent members of the UN Security Council, to the countries which have nuclear weapons. We must be responsible, we must be accountable, not only to ourselves, but also to the rest of the international community.
Yes.
Do you see resolution on this problem with UK sooner?
Of course, I would like to be optimistic, but unfortunately, I don't have enough reasons for optimism. I'm afraid it's part of a long-term hostile campaign against my country. But as I have already said, we are able to defend our legitimate interests, to defend our positive image, our reputation, our national dignity. And please, I'm kindly asking all our opponents, please don't cherish any illusions in this respect. So there is only one alternative. Put aside outdated cliches, accusations, stupid accusations, and come together and start talking on equal footing. That's all.
What can other countries, say countries like as small as the Philippines, can do to contribute something positive to the search for a solution to this problem?
I think the best possible way to contribute to the resolution of this crisis is to refrain from conclusions until the completion of the investigation process. That's all. You see, the first step of the British government was to accuse Russia of all possible and impossible sins. The second one is to create a kind of solidarity, Western solidarity, a kind of united front against Russia.
Against Russia. Is that moving?
So please, I have a strong belief that all responsible members of the international community will never support these attempts of the British side to create such a front. It will be irresponsible.
But is the investigation moving?
I hope so. I hope so. But though a group of experts from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons was sent to the United Kingdom, so we don't know their mandate.
But wasn't the UK supposed to?
We don't mean it. So we insist on a very simple thing. All relevant procedures must be conducted, completed in full compliance with the Convention on the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. That's all. And if one side doesn't want to comply with the requirements of this convention, it means that there is something to hide.
Mr. Ambassador, before the Iraq War, there was the controversy about the existence of weapons of mass destruction. And there were several reputable inspectors who tried to insist that the rule should be followed because there was no evidence of weapons of mass destruction.
Yes, right.
They were disregarded.
Right. And I would like to remind you also that unlike some powerful Western countries, Russia has already destroyed all Soviet stockpiles of chemical weapons. And it was officially confirmed by the Organization on the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons.
I've written about it.
It was verified and officially confirmed.
Yes.
But some other countries, Western countries, which are much richer
They have not
than
done.
Russia, they haven't done the same so far.
And they could have been the source of the Novichok.
By the way, the so-called Novichok has never been produced on the territory of Russia. Never. So we have nothing to do with what's happened in the United Kingdom.
Is it being produced in?
And I would like only to say once again, for your better understanding, my government, more than the government of any other country, is interested in full-scale, comprehensive, objective, unbiased investigation of that incident. Because those who committed that, they must be brought to justice.
You have complete knowledge of what secret this Russian sold to British?
What kind of secret?
Because he defected.
Skripal.
Skripal, secret. How big, or maybe he sold nothing.
But,
He delivered nothing.
But Mr. Skripal was sent to the United Kingdom. So if I'm not mistaken, 12 years ago. As you understand. So, and he was convicted, and before that he spent 4 or 5 years.
6 years.
Or 6 years.
6 years.
Thank you for your clarification. Because I don't know well the biography, the background of that man. So he spent 6 years in prison. So as you understand, since that time, he had no access to any secrets. Absolutely. Moreover, he was punished by the Russian court on the basis of a relevant ruling of a Russian court. So he was held accountable for what he did. That's all. We disdain him. But he absolutely indifferent, so it has no importance for us, of course, to follow what he's doing in the United Kingdom.
Well, according to the
Absolutely.
reports, Mr. Ambassador, he had been living out in the open in England for the last 8 years. So all of a sudden, he becomes a victim of poisoning. That's another angle, I think, that should be examined. Somebody being seen by everyone, living a normal life, all of a sudden, he becomes an object of poisoning.
So let me ask you, if I may.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's assume, so if you don't believe the arguments if you don't consider the position of my government is well-founded, if you disagree with us. So, can you find any sense, any reason for us, for the Russian government, to poison that guy? So it's related to your question about benefits.
Yes, very clearly.
What sense for us to do that?
You had nothing to gain from it.
Let's assume you don't believe us, but in this case you should explain what's the benefit for Russia in that.
That was ambassador.
So everyone has a right to like my country or dislike it. But I'm sorry for my undiplomatic language once again. We Russians, we are not stupid. And we are not suiciders. So if we do something, so it should be well-founded. It should be logical.
So this Mr. Skripal, if he knows secret, that must be 6 plus 12, latest 18 years ago. And anything 18 years
Definitely.
ago was
So I
well,
repeat,
history.
I repeat, so he has no secrets. So he is no threat to Russia.
To Russia.
Absolutely. He is zero for us.
So he had his uses to some other people.
Thank you very much for your remark. First of all, he's useless for the British intelligence service.
Yeah. So,
Mr. Ambassador, I am neutral on this issue between Russia and the UK. I like Pushkin as much as like Shakespeare. So I'm a man of letters. Politics is. But what I'm saying is, whether or not I believe in what you're saying, the duty of the British government from the very beginning was to show proof that Russia was behind the poisoning before making that speech in Parliament.
Yes, I fully agree with you. And I deeply respect your position. And one more remark. As far as I understand, the United Kingdom is a sovereign state. It's not a banana republic. So it means, in my view, that the British government, first of all, the British government is responsible for everything happening on the British territory. That's the responsibility of the British authorities. They must be accountable for that. So please, be neutral.
We will be neutral.
Okay, thank you very much. I highly appreciate your position.
thank you.
Because neutral is tantamount in this respect. So is tantamount to objective, unbiased.
We will be neutral in favor of the truth. Ambassador Khovaev, thank you very much for your enlightening remarks. We hope to be able to share these remarks with as many people as possible because, as you notice, these developments have not even entered the front pages of our newspapers. If you should come to blows for any reason whatsoever, it will probably be in the inside pages of our newspapers or in the back page. So thank you once again for your presence here and your candor. We did not notice any undiplomatic remarks.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy to hear that. And thank you very much for inviting me. And I would like to assure you that I'm always very glad to come here and to talk with you.
It's a pleasure.
Though it's not easy to talk with you. It's not easy to answer your questions.
Too many parts.
Because most of them are quite challenging. But
Yes.
thank you very much. I'm grateful to
I
you
try
for that.
to do better than Meghan Kelly interviewing President Putin.
So you see, we Russians, I'm ready to disclose one small secret.
Yes.
As a nation, we Russians, of course, we have a few shortcomings. But among them, there is not at least one. We are not easily frightened. So we are ready to discuss any subject.
I know that. Thank you very much again. Kami po ni Ariel ay muling nagpapasalamat sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay. Hanggang po sa susunod na linggo, ito muli si Gitatad, kasama po si Ariel, si Ambassador Khovaev, mulang papaalam.